backpacking gear loadout coming up. What is up, backpackers? My name is Thor, and I help you get on the trail geared up, educated, and more informed. What we're going to be doing today is going through some of my gear that I'm going to be taking with me on a trip that I'm going on this weekend. Some fellow backpackers here in Utah. We're going to be heading up to the Uinta Mountains, and we're going to have a huge range of temperatures. So it's going to be interesting to see which type of gear I'm going to be bringing in order to accommodate up into the 60s and down to about 5 degrees. So let's check it out. So I had to have a really warm setup in order to stay comfortable and stay safe. First off, my backpack, the Hyperlite Mountain Gear Junction 3400 pack. I'm going to be carrying this pack. Number one, it's just my favorite pack, but with more winter gear and warm weather gear, I need the extra capacity of this pack in order to get all this stuff in here, because I've got a 0-degree bag, I've got a 2-person shelter, a bigger sleeping pad, more clothing, and I need that extra I need that extra storage on the top that I've got in the 3400 in order to make that happen. Lightweight, it's very durable, and it has a very high weight to load capacity ratio. There is not another pack that weighs this little that can carry as much weight as this pack can carry. Okay, so let's go over my sleeping bag. For this trip, I chose a sleeping bag. I'm going to be taking the Sea to Summit Ascent 0-degree sleeping bag. This sleeping bag is 750 fill down, and it is packed full of features. I will be doing a review on this bag separately because I feel like this is the most versatile sleeping bag that you're ever going to get. From little features inside the sleeping bag to 3 different ways to unzip it and get different types of ventilation and even fold it out into a quilt. Be sure to keep an eye out for that video of the review of the Sea to Summit Ascent. My sleeping bag is the first thing I like to put into my bag. I'm going to put this in a Dyneema stuff sack in order to keep the most important thing when sleeping in cold temperatures dry. That was way more exhausting than it should have been. Now, this 0-degree bag barely fits into this stuff sack, but I forgot to mention the weight on this bag. Keep in mind, it's a 0-degree, 750 fill down, and it weighs 3 pounds, 3 ounces, which I feel is a really good weight for a quality piece of gear that gets me down to 0 degrees. All right, so let's get my sleeping bag into the pack. This sleeping bag sideways just barely fits in this stuff sack, so it may take me a minute. All right, so now that that's in there, let's go to our next item. My next item is going to be my Helinox Chair Zero. Now that might sound like a weird item to pack next, but the reason being is because in this pack, it just doesn't fit right horizontally. There's a hard piece of plastic in here that pokes, and I'm worried after miles of rubbing that it's gonna rub a hole in. So I put it down vertically and I put it in next. And I'll show you once I start getting up a little bit higher, my layered pack system, why this fits perfectly vertically. As you know, the Chair Zero is 16 ounces, and just bring a chair backpacking. I don't need to explain to you why. Okay, now that that's in there, we're gonna go next to my sleeping pad, the Thermarest Neo Air X-Therm. This pad is one of the highest R values that you can get. The scale goes from about 0 to about 10. Now, the higher the R value, the warmer it's gonna keep you. This pad is a 6.9 R value and will keep you plenty warm when you're winter backpacking. This pad uses a triangle baffle insulation system, which is basically a bunch of this space blanket material. Oh, don't you like that sound? This space blanket material inside this pad. So you will get some crinkle with this pad, but at 20 ounces and at an R value of 6.9, this is a really hard pad to beat. As you notice, I do have my Nemo strap around it, but that's just because I like to get rid of the stuff sack for it. But this pad is really hard to beat on weight and R value. All right, next is my Thermalite Reactor Extreme from Sea to Summit. They claim that this will add 25 degrees to your sleeping bag. Do I believe that? No. But I do believe it will add something, even if it adds 5 degrees, 10 degrees, maybe 15 degrees. I don't know. Whatever it adds, I'll be grateful for it. At about 13 to 14 ounces, this is something that I'm willing to take because I do not want to be cold. I'd rather be hot backpacking than cold backpacking. All right, next are my pillows. That's right, pillows. First is the Trekology pillow. Everybody knows it, weighs a couple ounces, it's great. The other pillow that I recently picked up from Hyperlite Mountain Gear is their stuff sack pillow. Whoa. This is a stuff sack that is fleece lined so that I can put my clothes in that I'm not going to need till the end of the night that I'm going to be sleeping in. And then at the end of the day, I can flip this inside out and I've got a fleece pillow that I can stuff with my down jacket if I'm not sleeping in it, extra clothes, things like that. So let's put those pillows inside. Okay, so something I want to show you is the system I'm trying to create is a horizontal stack system other than my Helinox Chair Zero to create a flat platform in order for the next piece of gear to sit on top of it. In this case, I'm going to be putting my food bag right here. This is a Tyvek ground sheet that I'm going to stuff down the back side of my pack. There's a net on the inside of the Hyperlite Mountain Gear pack that this fits down perfectly. Now to the food bag. I like to bring oatmeals for breakfast, super light, super fast, to give me the energy that I need to keep hiking or to lounge by the lake, whatever I'm doing. I like these because they're easy. For lunches, I like to bring instant mashed potatoes, pre-packaged tuna. My favorite is the ranch flavor. And somebody told me to buy this and I am nervous to eat this thing. It's Spam Singles. So if any of you have tried this, let me know, but I'm going to give it a try on this out when we're out on this trip. I do like to take a treat just for fun. I'm going to be taking a ice cream sandwich from Mountain House just to have something as a treat to look forward to. And that is pretty much it. Oh, I do like to take these pecan fuels for dinner. I've got teriyaki chicken and sweet rice and pork. Sweet pork and rice. And these are just good to have at the end of a long day. They're super delicious, and it's a local company here in Utah. Okay, so something that I'm leaving space for inside my food bag is my cook pot, so that it will fit right here. So when I put this all together, I close this up and my food bag is ready to go. But let's show you what I put inside my pot. Okay, so like I said, I like to keep room inside this pot in order to stack some of the other things that I'm going to be bringing. I like to bring a piece of tin foil because you never know when you're going to need something, like a windscreen, or if you catch some fish and you want to cook it up. Now, I'm bringing a larger can of fuel that's 4-season because we're going to be burning fuel at a much lower temperature than normal, and I'm going to be using more fuel. So now that we've got everything inside my food bag, I can put it on that platform that I created before with my sleeping pad, my sleeping bag liner, and my pillows so that it will fit perfectly so that I can compress it better when it comes to that point. Now that we've got our sleeping system, our food bag, my chair all packed up, we're going to move on to the next items. Now the system that I pack my gear in is I pack the stuff that I'm going to use last first. So that's why I pack my sleeping bag, my pad, and my pillows, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to be at the bottom of my pad, and I need that last. So pack what you need last first. So next is going to be my extra clothing. I'm going to be bringing a base layer that I just got at Costco. This is called the 32 degree heat base layer. What this is going to do is give me a nice base layer to keep me extra toasty while I'm out on the trail and while I'm trying to sleep at night. I'm going to bring one while I'm hiking and a fresh pair to sleep in at night. In addition to that, I'm going to be bringing extra wool socks, extra merino wool socks, and gloves. I don't know that I'm going to be using the gloves, but I'm bringing them just in case because I do not want to get cold. Oh my goodness, I forgot my stove. I'm bringing the Soto Windmaster, and I'm also going to be bringing the BRS stove. I'm doing a review on the BRS stove, and it weighs less than an ounce, so it's not a big deal to bring it, but I'm going to go ahead and throw these in with my cook kit. Now we're going to get to my shelter. I'm going to be bringing the Durston X-mid 2-person tent. The reason I'm bringing this tent is because it's lightweight, it's simple to set up, and is super spacious on the inside. I'm super excited to check out this tent and to give you guys a full review. Okay, last but not least is my ditty bag. I'm not going to go through all of the items in here, but I've got a ton of hand warmers because I'm super paranoid of getting cold. I've got my charger cables, some bear line in order to hang my bear bag, and I've got some Catadine tablets as a backup method for filtering water. Got a little repair kit here. That is the last thing that's going to be going inside of my pack. Okay, so now that we've got all of our gear inside this pack, what we're going to do is we've created a system that's stacked horizontally so that we can press down and compress all the stuff we've got. We're going to seal the Velcro. Now we've got all of the gear that needs to go on the inside of our pack ready to go. Okay guys, now that we've got everything on the inside of the pack, let's move to the mesh pocket and the side pockets of my backpack to see what goes in next. Okay, so first I like to start with my huge mesh pocket here, and I'm gonna put my poop kit, which consists of a trowel, toilet paper, wipes, hand sanitizer, and soap. I'm gonna put that along with my first aid kit, which is something simple, not too crazy. Keep your first aid kit simple and don't put stuff in there that you don't know how to use. One of the most important and vital tools as far as first aid when you're backpacking is your knowledge. So along with these two items, I'll put my raincoat. And I don't know why I do this, but I just put the brightly colored blue and white behind this so that my pack stays black. I don't know, I just like the color black on this pack. I just think it looks really cool. So I try to not make it, I know it sounds silly, but I try not to make my pack stand out by having this huge white splotch on the front. So I cover those two up with my rain jacket, which my rain jacket is nothing special. It's a no-name that I had when I went on a service trip to Mexico, and I've had it for years. So we'll go ahead and put those in there. Okay, next, because this is a winter backpacking trip, I'm doing things a little bit differently. I'm bringing this extra space blanket. Now, it may sound kind of weird, but this is what's on the inside of our sleeping pads that are insulated. And so with this, I can add an extra insulated layer on the floor. I can fashion it in the tent somehow to radiate more heat while in the tent. I don't think I'm gonna need this, but I'd rather have it and not need it than wish I had it. Okay, this is something else that I like to bring wherever I'm going. Even though I carry a GPS unit, I do like to bring a paper map. This is just like worst case scenario or my GPS dies. I've always got this as a backup. This one is waterproof, so I keep it on the outside of my pack and I've never had any issues. Okay, so as you can see, the mesh pocket on this pack is huge. I've got all the gear that I just need to grab real quick. If I get cold, if it rains, if I need a map, if I need to poop, if I cut my finger, I've got it all right here, quick access. Let's go side pocket. This side pocket, Okay, this side pocket is where I'm gonna put my water bottle. Now, on this trip, I'm gonna be taking the Catadine Be-Free water filter, which actually, I found these clips on Amazon called Garage Soul, and they work just like the Z-Packs clip in that it clips right onto here. This probably looks funny. It clips, let me show you. This clips right on to the top of this, so then I can unscrew it when I need to, but I can screw it back up, and I can hang it, off the sternum strap of my backpack or off one of the straps on the shoulder strap. Let me show you. Okay, so all it is, boom. I want a drink? Boom, right there. It's right there. Okay, so since we talked about this, I'm just gonna throw this on the shoulder strap and we'll call it good. We talked about it. Now back to the side pocket. I'm gonna throw a Smart Water bottle, or this one's a Life Water. I just happen to have the Sawyer filter on here from a previous trip that I went on, but I will switch it out for just a regular cap, and this is just some extra water storage. Now this side pocket, this is where I keep my bear spray. Now, the reason that I bring this is because on the last trip I went on, I really regretted not bringing it. I've talked about this in another video, but long story short, there were probably 3 times while we were on our trip that there were either warning shots fired or other backpackers talking about seeing bears in the area that we were in. And then I got back, looked on the group Facebook page for the Uinta Mountains, and there were 3 more sightings the next night that we ended up coming home early from. We came home early because I got a fish hook in my eye, so it was super lame. But I regretted not bringing this because had we had an encounter with a bear, the majority of the time there are not bear attacks when you see a bear, but I really would have liked to have this just as a little peace of mind. So that, I just put it in the other pocket right there. And then also, I do keep my headlamp in here. I don't know why, that's just where I end up tending to put it. So I stuffed my headlamp in there. Okay, let's see. Oh, the Garmin InReach Mini. Now, this was so nice to be able to communicate with my wife, to be able to, for my friends to be able to communicate to their wives while we were out backpacking on my last trip. And really, the peace of mind that this gives me is totally worth the price tag. So if you're on the fence about this, just stop thinking about it and pull the trigger. I like to keep my Garmin InReach Mini right where I can get to it, and so it's easily accessible. So I put it right there, so I can always have access to it at a moment's notice. Okay, one other item that I've been using the whole time is the Thermarest Z seat. Now, this item doesn't need a lot of explanation. This is something that I thought was kind of gimmicky, but I have used it almost, I've used it so much more than I thought it would. So this is really something to consider. Okay, now, this is my fanny pack from Hyperlite Mountain Gear. I like to keep my phone, any snacks, and if I'm taking little bits of camera gear with me, I like to put it in here. And what this does is it loops through the sternum strap, loops through the back of this, and then becomes a pocket right at your chest. It can also be a fanny pack that I could take off for day hikes, or that I could take off and put fishing gear in here and go to the lake and fish. But bringing a fanny pack is something that I will never leave home without. So for now, I'm just gonna put it in here because this is typically something that I'll hike with on my chest, just because I like to have that quick access to small items that I need while I'm on trail. Last but not least, my trekking poles. These are trekking poles that at a local college here in Utah, they have an outdoor rec center that every year they blow out some of their gear so they can buy new gear, because college students are kind of rough on stuff. So I picked up these Rossignol. I don't know if that's actually like a good brand or something, but these are just trekking poles I picked up for like $3 when they were clearancing all their stuff out. And this is what I use to pitch my tent that I'm gonna be reviewing on this trip. If I'm not using them, if I'm not using my trekking poles, I usually put them down the side like this. As you can see, these pockets are huge, but I usually put them down the side like this. And then I put this strap over the top of it so that it holds them in right there. But when I'm not using them, I just like to put them here so that they're held in a good safe spot. All right guys, so that's my gear loadout for this upcoming trip. I hope you guys like this. Please hit the like button if you found value in this video. Please leave comments below on suggestions, comments. If you want to give me advice, if you want to tell me a joke, you want to ask for a hug, whatever it is, leave it in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this every single week. And backpackers, thanks for stopping by.